Hey, Bobby, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. Hey, this is a good opportunity for you to sort of get your first head coaching experience during the summer league. How exciting is that for you? And what do you think it will mean for you when you transition to Stockton this year?
I think it's great. I think the biggest thing is, having a voice, coming up with your own practice plans and your schemes and how you want to do things. Um, being a team that defends at a high level. We started practice off with nothing but defense. So, it gives me a lot of experience and I've been around for a while. Now I get to run my own show and make my own timeouts, draw my own plays. It just helps you as an overall coach trying to get to wherever you need to get to. But it's exciting as well. We got some young talent, guys that playing hard, practicing hard, and competing at a high level.
This is your first shot at getting a look at Davion. Just what are your first impressions of him?
Oh man, competitive, tough, um, great body, explosive, fast, and he does all the little things. And why he's on the floor, and it is a reason why he's won a national championship, and he's won at every level. He competes at a high level. He makes his teammates better, and he approaches and he works harder than anybody around him. And I think that's a really good calling card just for him.
Next question will go to Sean Cunningham.
So, Bobby, back to Davion in a second. I've heard some people try to compare him to you. Do you see a little of yourself in him?
He tough. And that's he's tough. He's small. He can score. He's really explosive as a guard. Still has to figure out the NBA game though, and it's great that I get to help him figure it out and navigate that throughout the first summer league. But yeah, super explosive. On both sides of the ball, and um, I think it's a great comparison. He might not like it, but I think it allows him to see where he's at. I just like his work ethic. And when you look at a young guy coming in, his work ethic, being in the gym, he done worked out twice before we done had practice, and I think that's just shows his dedication for his craftsmanship and how hard of a worker he is.
I think in most years you might have a few more days, maybe about a week or so, to kind of get guys adjusted and acclimated to the environment. What kind of challenge is that to have really like a practice or so, and then play some games? And fortunately, after California Classic, you'll have a few more. But just what kind of challenge does that pose for you guys in trying to put together some cohesive basketball?
I mean, it's challenging, but you make do with what you got, and you don't make excuses. We got we started practice 3 days ago, so we had 4 practices in 3 days. So we've thrown a lot of stuff at the guys, and they got to learn fast. It's just concepts. It's playing fast, um, communicating, playing with toughness, but also sharing the ball. So you're throwing a lot of coverages and terminology at them as well that they need to be successful with, that we want them to be successful with when they step on the floor, which is going to allow us to be successful. It's just fast. You try to cram a lot of things in those 3 days that allow them to grow. And I think we've done a really good job with putting a mixture of everything in.
Jason Anderson.
Bobby, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How you?
I'm doing well. To follow up on kind of what you were just talking about, you mentioned defense already. How much of a focal point is that for the organization, and how much in this short time can you impress on these young guys? Kind of what the whole organization is trying to build towards.
Well, I mean, I think that's something that you have to start your practice off with is the defensive side of the ball, and we did that for the first day and the second day and the third day. I believe in starting out, creating a defensive energy, creating things that you need to do successfully on the floor. So we was 30th in the league, so we want to be able to be tough. We want to be able to guard the ball off the bounce. We want to be able to scramble and play with some toughness throughout uh, these games that we're going to play in and the games that we're going to see. But you always try to establish that the first day, and we did, and the guys have accepted it. They have been tough. They have been communicating, and they have been playing extremely hard. So it's just tough to try to cram in a lot of things. So you try to pick the things that you think that's important defensively that we need to be really, really good at once these games start.
How much of a catalyst has Davion been for that effort to impose that defensive mentality? And then also, what are your impressions of Neemias so far?
What's my impression of who?
Queta, the rookie center.
Oh, Queta. Davion, he sets the tone when he steps on the floor with his physicality, with his basketball knowledge. Kind of challenged him the other day to be more vocal, be a leader, and understand that you have that platform just to lead and pull the group together. But when he steps on the floor, he's just so strong and fast. He makes a difference. He makes an impact in the game right away, just because of how he defends and the things that he do. Still learning how to be a point guard in this league, but that'll come easily. But he's competitive. When you're a competitive guard and you got toughness, I think that kind of goes a long way. And Queta, he's starting to figure out. He just got back on the court 5-on-0. So he kind of did that for the first time today. And then we'll still evaluate to see where he goes. But he looked really good trying to get down the offense and get down the defensive concepts. So hopefully we'll see him in Vegas.
Next, we'll go to Tony Harvey.
And how you doing, Bobby? Congratulations, man. You've been with the organization for what, 21, 22 years, and they brought you along really sweet and well, man. So I appreciate that coming from the organization. I know you've been through a couple of administrations, but you held your own. But anyway, get back to Neemias Queta. What is it? We know about the defensive things that he could do, and I know it's still early. How does he look thus far with his offensive skills?
I think he's behind because he didn't do anything on the first couple of days, and he's just been watching. And for me, it takes bigs a little bit longer to figure and grasp the offensive concepts of what we're trying to do. So we threw a lot of offensive stuff at him. And again, we're trying to keep it as simple as possible so we can give them a lot of success so they ain't got to be thinking where I got to go, what I got to do. So we'll try to shorten the playbook and limit that. But he's great. I think with the time that he gets and the more practice he gets, he's definitely a cerebral guy. He's always in the huddles. He's watching the plays that we're drawing up. He's always encouraging, asking questions. So I think he'll be fine once he gets into the 5-on-5 aspect of it. But I envision him being a rebounder, a shot blocker, a roller, and being able to protect the paint and finish around the rim. I think he won't have any problems doing that.
I don't know if you was in that space or in that room during draft when they were talking about Queta, but what was your thoughts after they had selected him, or did you yourself have any type of intel information on him, before he was drafted?
I mean, he came and worked out for us, and it was very impressive in our workout. And I think for me, I haven't really paid attention to college, but he was very impressive in the workout. And I look forward to working with him during the season once if he comes to the G League, which he probably will be at the G League based on who we sign, other bigs that we sign. But I think, with any young guy coming in, giving them the ability to learn and adapt and teach them things that they haven't seen in college, I think that's a huge thing. Just being a sounding board, being a great coach, allowing them to grow and develop, but also pushing them to the max that they need to get to be successful. And they will get that, when they come up to the G League. And it's just, the love of the game that I have, the love that I have for the game. And so I want to see all these guys be successful, but we got to figure out how to do it the right way.
We'll take two more questions for Coach. Jason Jones.
Hey, Bobby, what's going on?
What up, Jay?
Not much. Just first, how are the guys you had last season, like Robert, Neemias, Lewis, looking, given that you had them last season and also got to see them during the summer?
I mean, they're looking good. And I think when you still have young guys, I've been preaching being consistent, in this training camp. You know, figuring out how to be consistent on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. And that kind of allows you to grow as a player once you figure out how to be consistent, what your niche is, and do it at a high level. And again, they're still young, so they're still trying to figure out how to be consistent, and which all our young guys are. You know, if they were consistent, then they'll be a major part of our team and be playing heavy minutes. So for me, it's just trying to empower them, give them a little things that's going to allow them to be successful on the floor. But I'm just trying to nail in being consistent, playing with effort, being an unselfish teammate, and playing the right way.
And with Queta and bringing him along slow, is that an injury thing, or is it just kind of a plan the team has to not throw him out there right away?
I think it was a pre-injury before he came in. He already had it while he was working out. And so our staff is just, doing their due diligence, making sure he's getting the proper treatment before he steps on the floor. But I think he'll be ready to go in Vegas. He ran up and down. He was moving. He was talking today. And he looked really good. Just to have a big body on the floor that can protect the paint and rebound is something that we're going to need once we get into Vegas.
Last question for Coach Sean.
Yeah, Bobby, just one more thing. As a former player and coach now, for these guys that were on the squad last year, you guys didn't really have a summer league, obviously, because of the way the world was. I'm just wondering how that kind of affects development. Obviously, these guys had some G League experience and even got to play here in Sacramento. But what kind of setback is that for guys not having a summer league experience?
It's a huge setback. And we didn't have a G League team. A couple of guys went and played dispersed with other teams. But I think the huge things that guys need to get really, really good at is playing. There's no substitution for playing. We can draw up all the plays. We can come up with all the concepts and schemes. But guys need to play, and especially young guys. And so losing that year kind of set them back, but they've been in the gym working and we've been playing. It just hasn't been in front of anybody. So this just allows them to grow and get better and work on the things that they need to get better with. I always tell them basketball is going to tell you who you are as a person. It's not going to lie to you, even as a coach, So, I just try to be honest with them about their assessment and what I want, and then we just go from there.